Welcome to Vegas Live with Ninon. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host, and oh my goodness, have we have a hectic week in Vegas. It's been nothing but wind, and then more wind, and then more wind on top of that, and then of course you've got all that very fine sand that you don't see floating around, and you inhale it, and then you end up with an allergy or Sue allergies or whatever the case may be.
Anything out here.
And I now have Ron Knight with me. You all know who Ron Knight is. He's an amazing guy. They've just come back, he and his wife, Tiffany, they've just come back from Australia.
Yeah, right. Well, we actually got in. We were late getting back, okay? We had a few mishaps at the airport, but we didn't get out until I think it was 4 months later. 4 months later.
I thought it was going to say like a day or two.
No, it was about 4 months later.
Well, that's because of the COVID thing. You can go in and you've kind of got stuck there, didn't you?
Yeah, basically we did, because no airline was flying there, and the ones that were flying from the United States were only United. United was the only one flying there, and they only flew on certain days.
Yeah.
Hawaiian stopped flying in their period, because we normally take the Hawaiian flight back to Hawaii, and then into Vegas. But they claimed they were going to do it, but they didn't. They ended up they refunded our money twice. And so we couldn't get out, and so we didn't.
By that time, you should have got a free fare anyway.
Yep. Oh no, they actually, what they're doing is they jack the price up on the flights when they do stuff like that.
Really?
So we paid a lot more.
Oh, that's really nice. So you get the injection several ways.
Yeah, right.
Not only the virus, but also flying around.
No, you're right. No, you hit the nail on the head. You get the injection.
Yeah. And then you've got the taxes are going up, and then everything else is going up. Inflation is going up. India is a total disastrous place at the moment with all the vaccines and the deaths, and that's really, and my heart goes out to them, and blessings to them as well. But this COVID thing, and you were just talking about it, but you're actually in the entertainment business.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about that first.
Sure.
What have you been doing in the last, I guess, year and a half, probably?
Yes, that's for sure. And what I did was, while I was in Australia, I decided that I wanted to start building my music repertoire for an orchestra or a large band, orchestra. And so I found a guy in France that normally, if I had that done here, it would have cost me thousands and thousands of dollars to have it done. Yeah, to have myself fully charted. Yeah. And I found this guy, and he started doing the charts for me, and they're excellent. It's a great.
And this is your own music, right?
Well, some of it is, and some of it's not. Some of it.
But then also it's changed a little bit as to how.
Oh yeah, it's been rearranged and orchestrated.
Okay.
And so, because I always wanted to do a tribute to one of my good friends who's passed away now. Everybody knows him as Lou Rawls.
Oh, I didn't know he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago.
A few years ago. Yeah. Oh, I used to love his song.
And he was one of the guys who really helped me in the industry. And I know a lot of people, but Lou Rawls,
was the one that really helped you.
Well, he would just, he was just a regular guy.
Yeah.
Regular guy.
Yeah.
Also, Al Jarreau was a really nice guy too as well. But in saying that, what I did is we started working on a lot of different things musically, so that I could come back here and present them here. In the meantime, Kimberly worked on her dance awards, so I was doing the dance.
Kimberly is your wife.
Yes, and she was working on the dance awards, so I helped her with that. So we've been pretty busy, in this industry.
Did you plan to stay out there all that time?
Yes and no, because
Okay.
I had a lot of work. I would have had a lot of work, but they cut all of that when COVID. So we went out there, and everything just cut out.
It all cut out.
So that kind of hindered a lot of things that we were doing. But we were all, you're always busy in this industry. If you're serious.
Once you're in the entertainment business and once you're doing all this, you make yourself busy. Number one.
Right.
Number two, you don't kind of give up, because you kind of say, well, we're going to find another way to do this.
Right.
And the entertainment people, obviously, because of the way they think and how they are, they think of another avenue. And of course, because of the internet, it made it a little easier.
Yes,
So you could do
that's
things
right.
on the internet.
It leveled the playing field a bit.
Yeah, level the playing field, because actually, in one way, I didn't get affected by this thing at all.
No, we didn't either.
I continued doing what I was doing. I started back up in June. Last June, I started back up, and we kept
We were
going.
watching you.
Yeah,
We saw.
you saw.
We were
Still
down
out
there.
there,
We were
still doing
watching.
our thing, still keeping it going.
I said to her, I said, boy, Nina's still trucking.
I'm
boy.
still
She's
trucking
going.
away. Well, someone's got to help the entertainment
That's right.
business. I mean, someone's got to
you're
get them
right.
out there. So it didn't really affect me at all, because I also have another show, Ninon Speaks. So I got that one out there as well. But the entertainers, I think it hurt them more than anywhere else in the world was Vegas.
I think in terms of the way, if you're an entertainer in the way that you approach it,
Yes.
because what we did is I was similar to what you did. We started a podcast, and the
for
podcast
you.
is still going, right? And so we decided that
Let's start the podcast, forget the shows.
you know, the
That's
podcast. What I was attempting to do is bring a lot of musicians together,
Yes.
and letting them inject their opinions into what was going on in the industry itself.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, and helping them actually get in the
Right,
industry.
exactly.
So how did you get on with your orchestra? Do you now have an orchestra, or?
No, well, it doesn't matter whether I get it or somebody else gets it. What it is it prepared for me to be able to, let's say, for instance, you have a show coming up.
Yeah.
And you've already hired your orchestra.
Yes.
All I have to do is come in and say, hey, I'm going to rehearse you guys. Here it is.
Great.
You see what I'm saying? So that's all I have to do.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, that's
So-
all I have to do now. I don't really have to worry about whether the band is there or not, you know.
So you're actually in touch with all the bands then, and all the people that are
yeah,
out
I can
there.
I can
So
subcontract anybody else.
you can come in and you can orchestrate the whole thing for them.
Well,
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, well, what happens is if I come in and into your venue,
Yes.
and you have the orchestra there,
I've already got my orchestra.
all I have to do is talk the guys through my particular music.
Yes. So it's already there.
And it's
That's
it's
easy.
already there.
Yeah, it's
so
already there.
that was something that I always wanted to achieve that goal, because
So you achieve your
you
goal.
never know when you're going to have to go before an orchestra. It's not my first time.
No.
I have been before orchestras before, but I never really had the music.
So now you had the music
Now I have
and the
the music,
orchestra and
yeah,
the singers
and
and
the
everybody
singer,
else.
yeah, everybody.
So you kind of made it all work. And so you
Right.
actually got control of something you always wanted to do, because you actually now had the time.
Yeah, I had the time.
This is what, if you look at it that way, the positive side of anything, when it goes wrong, it doesn't really go wrong, because it gives you another
Right.
avenue to try something else and do something else and not stay in that rut.
And when things
actually.
happen like this too, you know, if you recall, there's always the yin and the yang, and there's always an
yin and
opportunity.
yang are all hanging around there, aren't
There's
they?
always an opportunity when there's no opportunity.
There's always an
know?
opportunity.
Yeah, there's always an opportunity.
And as a being out there, and I always try to make people understand this, there's only one thing you have that's the most important thing in this entire world, is this thing. This is
That's
all I
it.
have. I can have 10,000 cars, I can have money, I can have everything else, but this is all I have to work with.
Well,
you
you know-
have the same thing. Or we have to work it.
Right.
Whether we have money, car, it doesn't matter. We still got to work.
Well,
It's
an
still
example
gonna
of that is
happen.
that we just had a friend who passed away.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I've known him for years. He used to play. He was a sax player, and you know, he owned a nice home next to my wife's family's home. He had instruments, and it got me to thinking. I guess I started thinking about this when my brothers passed away. But we gather up all of these tangible things,
Of course we do.
and then we pass on, and we don't own anything.
Well, we come into the world with nothing, with
Yeah.
one breath, and we leave the world with nothing.
I was thinking about
One
Adelson.
breath.
I was thinking about Adelson. You know, the
Yeah.
guy from the casino.
Yeah.
You know, now it's somebody else's, and he did all the hard work.
And they usually do. And I always say to people, don't worry as much, because
No, you don't.
worrying is not going to get you anywhere. Now, we've talked about, so do you have any gigs coming up or anything happening in
I'm
Vegas?
appearing at the Sterling Club on the 14th of May.
14th of May. Well, we're going to make
Yes.
sure we're going to be there. Janet, my
Yes.
friend, is sitting in the audience at
Yes,
the moment.
I would love you to
and
come.
We go to the Sterling Club all the time.
Oh,
so,
right, yeah.
yes, so-
Well, I had a beautiful. I was there last month. Was it last month or in March? I was there in March, and they really enjoyed it, so they called me back. And
Cool.
it's a nice venue. I like the venue. I told them, I said, look, I'm not here to do what I did before I left, because I was playing every casino, and I really honestly, unless it's a really, really nice, comfortable gig, I really don't want to do it, because I was
Isn't
working
that
six
nice?
nights.
Yeah, but wait a
week.
second. You've gone through life and you've done a lot of things. You've done all the hard work. So
Right.
now it's a little bit, like every entertainer, it's nice to be able to choose what you want.
Oh, let me
when
tell
you
you.
want.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that
beautiful.
has to, so you've got to turn around and say thank you for
Yes,
everything that happened behind
I
me.
agree.
And now I can choose this and choose
I
that.
totally
That must be
agree.
a great place to be sitting.
Yes.
And also, to address the younger generation, the harder you work, believe me, the luckier you become.
Yeah, you got to
You got to
set
be
that
on
pace.
time. Can't be into drugs and all that stuff. You got to turn up. You got to be able to do what you said you're going to do.
Right.
Because otherwise you will not get hired back again. And you've obviously taken that road. You've done everything
Right.
you're supposed to do. You've played in all the clubs. You've played in all the
Oh,
hotels.
okay, I couldn't even count them. Yeah,
what I mean.
I wouldn't be able to count how many.
And you've
you
been
know.
on, he's been on my show 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
We've been, we went to the Pepper Mill, and now we're here, and who knows what's going on and what's happening and
That's right,
everything
but we're
else.
still here,
But we're
right?
still here, and we're still plodding along, and we've still
still
got
here.
that entertainment thing going out there.
Right.
Now, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the COVID thing in Australia, because you just got back from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did it affect them there?
In the beginning, it hadn't infected. It hadn't affected them at all. We were really probably none the wiser at the time, and this was around prior to March.
Yes.
Because we arrived there in September, so there was nothing. There's
Nothing
no
happening, yeah,
inkling.
well, nothing.
And I think they only had 1 or 2 cases anyway.
Yeah.
They had 1 or 2 cases. But the directives, I talked to a friend of mine one time that was on the councils. He was on the Australian Council, and he
Yeah.
said, I won't mention his name, but
No.
he
wouldn't
told
like
me
that.
he told me he was basically saying that, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of the politics behind COVID too as well.
Let's not go into
He
that.
told me that when the counties don't do what the states say,
Yeah.
then they hold back their funds, because it's all about money.
Oh, it's all game playing.
And then if the states don't do what the federal government
Then they hold
says,
back their money.
then they hold back their money. So in essence,
game.
he's told me that they normally keep the reason you don't hear politicians talking a lot about issues that they may not even believe is because they
wanna keep
want to
their
keep
money.
quiet. That's
They
right.
want their
They want to
money.
keep the money and keep it coming through. He said, so that's the way it works, and that's the way it is. And so as far as COVID was concerned, Kimberly
What
and
a
I...
strange world we live in. And,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to say that's just America, because we are talking about the world. We're talking
Right.
about Australia
Exactly.
now. That's not America. But they hold back their money anywhere. Now, the reason I know about all this is because my husband was in real estate.
Right.
And we used to build shopping centers. And unless we did certain things
Right.
and they were bringing certain taxes, guess what? We don't
Yeah,
get what
you
we
don't
want.
you don't get a chance to do it.
No, you don't.
And so, in terms of COVID, I don't want to get off the subject, but in terms of COVID, Kimberly and I approached COVID the way we would do if we had a cold. We
Yes.
decided that we would go to the beach and do it naturally to keep our bodies safe and healthy. So we knew that if we swam, that the ocean salt and water was going to protect us through
The
that.
salt for the
We
throat,
also knew
yeah.
that the sun had a lot of vitamin D in
D.
it, so we spent a lot of time. And
You became 2 beach bums.
we did. And trust
How
me,
cool is that?
we lost friends
I love
behind it, though.
Oh. But they didn't go to the beach with you.
Well, no, they just thought that we were setting a bad example because they didn't understand what to do in a situation where there's a pandemic. We've had pandemics before. This is not the only difference.
No, we've had worse pandemics
That's
than
right.
this particular one, but nobody's
Exactly.
ever mentioned that.
No,
There's
they've
been worse
never
ones.
mentioned it.
Then they won't mention it.
But the only reason they're doing this now because for all the time that they were set up to get us into this position, as you know, it's happened years and years. This is planned years ago.
That's what that's saying.
Yeah, and so
That's what's coming out.
so it's not new, but we are connected globally. That made it easier. So that's how we looked at it, and so we've never really been affected by it because we don't allow our minds to go
Yeah,
into it,
I
and
haven't
we
been the
won't.
same. No.
We won't. If we do,
Uh-oh.
it'll be about 4 years from now
That.
to test, and that's no reflection on her because I know she just had it, and I don't want her to feel like, because there's two two
He's talking about
opinions.
the vaccine,
Yeah,
by the way.
there's two opinions on the vaccine. Okay, there's one who says yes, and there's the other one. So everybody's split on it. We decided that we won't get it.
I think it's a little, I'm not opposed to it, but I think it's a little too soon because
It is.
there's not enough time. I don't think there's any way that you can put a vaccine together.
Well, that's
For
not a vaccine.
something-
It's not a vaccine.
Well, that's the problem. But,
Yeah.
but they're calling it a vaccine.
Exactly, they're calling
but
it,
to
but it's
put
not.
this together in such a short time, it's never really happened before.
Well, how can you do it before AIDS?
I don't get, well, this is the whole thing. So none of us get it, none of
Yeah.
us understand it. But also another thing that I really don't understand is every single year we have the flu.
Right.
Now, there's been no ads on television about how, take this
Right.
medicine over the counter, take this.
Does cancer still exist?
Of course it does.
Yeah, but we haven't heard anything
I've
about
heard nothing
cancer.
about cancer, nothing about regular flu. All of a sudden, the flu has become COVID-19. That I'm a little concerned and puzzled about. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying anything. I just want to know where did the flu go?
Well, it's from the scientific point, I'll tell you, like I've always been interested from the science as well.
Yeah.
But let's assume that we know it exists.
Yes.
We know that it exists.
Of course we
right?
know. It's definitely out there,
But
yes.
science has never always been fully accurate anyway. But people want to go
It's
on.
called science, and that's why
Yeah.
it's called science.
That's exact. So, but people like to think that science proves that it's correct. We
No.
all have different bodies. Everybody has a different body.
Yeah.
The way you react to stuff doesn't mean I'm
You're
going to
going to
react
react
that
the same way. Not at all.
You see what I mean? So some people will
React.
will be lost during this pandemic. Others will continue to travel on. New kids coming into the world will be covered by the new phenomena of whatever happens because they're born into that world at that time.
Absolutely.
So if people don't get that, which most people are delusionary because how many people go away and do things to know?
They don't. A lot of people don't. A lot of people do. We're all totally different. But it's like,
Right.
when I was born, I wasn't born in the computer world.
Right.
Kids right now are born in the computer world. It's nothing new to them.
That's right. It's
so
nothing new to them.
to go on a computer, have a computer, use a computer at a year old.
Right.
And we're looking at like, how could they do that? It's only a year old. Because
Yeah.
they're born in, like you just
That's
said.
right.
When you're born into things.
Into that, that's right.
It doesn't really matter. So obviously you're not getting a vaccination now. You're not opposed to it.
I'm not opposed to.
But you
I
just
just
wanna
think
hang
that
in
it
there,
should.
want us to make it work.
I think in terms of getting the vaccination, knowing what I know, and I'm talking about factual stuff, not stuff that I don't know, because I've conversed with some doctors online. I've done people who say this was too fast for them. It normally takes 5 to 6 years to develop a vaccine.
Yeah.
But without that being said, obviously they thought it was an emergency, blah, blah, blah. Some people react to it, others don't.
Yeah. Some
Okay?
people have died from it.
Some people, and that's happened when we had mumps, measles, or whatever.
all those common things.
Yeah, all those common things. So my opinion on it is just my opinion. I'm not saying I get.
You're not
people-
saying don't do it, do it. You're not
Yeah.
saying anything. You're
I-
just giving your total opinion on the whole thing.
if you got diabetes, if you got heart problems, if you got all of those things, by all means, take care of yourself.
I think the message that you're giving, Ron,
Yeah.
is giving everybody has a different opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody's body reacts to anything.
Yeah.
We all drive differently. Why do we all drive differently?
That's
Because we're all
right.
different.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drive fast and someone will drive slow and call me an idiot.
Well, she's taking the vaccine. She don't seem to be standing here going like this and stuff like that.
No.
But people are putting that information out, freaking people out about it because she obviously has not reacted to it. But other people have. As soon as they got the shot, they reacted to
Yes,
it.
I'm not opposed to any of it. I know a tremendous amount of it has to do with politics, like you just said.
Exactly, it's the politics.
If you don't go along on the ride and you don't take the ride, you don't get paid.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. It's all about the money. What they say, ain't a damn thing funny in the land of milk and honey.
I love it. I love it.
Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
There you go. Yeah, I'm closer to the edge than you are, by the way. We get up there and, but I'm not afraid of dying when I die. When
No,
my
that's
time's
right.
up, when God says, Ninon, your time is up, your time's up. Nothing I can do about it.
What's that song? And when I die, there'll be one less place to carry on.
There you are. There'll be one less talk show.
You too much. You too much.
One less talk show
No,
to worry about. Come on. How can anybody reach you if they want to book you? And at the Sterling
They can
Club?
always contact Kimberly Knight, and she can be contacted on her. She has a cell phone as well.
Do you want to give her phone number out? Are you sure
would you do
wanna,
mine?
You sure you want to give her number out?
Yeah.
I mean, things could happen. We're in
You
Vegas.
you say we're in Vegas, huh? Yeah, for business wise, she's not gonna. She usually don't answer.
Oh,
She's
good.
like you; she won't answer if she thinks it's somebody suspect.
There you go.
They can.
Suspect.
First of all, I give them the entertainment
office.
first.
Yes.
The website, the
Yes. Yeah, whatever
email,
you want.
Entertainment first at yahoo.com. That's entertainment first. First, the word first, FIRST. So don't separate them. ENTER, right? TAINMENT FIRST at yahoo.com. And we also can be reached at 702 863 6050.
I'm glad you remembered the
Yeah,
number.
right.
And sometimes, because I ask people, I say, you can get the phone number you want to.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't know the number.
702-863-6050.
There you go. Absolutely.
There you
Well,
go.
Ron, it's great to have you. Let's get your opinion from the COVID-19 in Australia, what's happening there, what's happening here, and what's happening all over the world.
Yeah.
But just keep moving forward,
Thank
make
you.
it happen, because if you don't make it happen, somebody else will come along and they'll make it
I
happen.
want to I appreciate you having us on the show, as you've always been really good to us to do this.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I definitely want to invite you guys to the Sterling Club. As you know, you don't probably have to do it, but everybody else has to. We have to have a list so we can let them know that you're coming. So you can
Well,
get
I'm
through
sure
the
I
gate.
have to let them know I'm
Yeah,
coming, but I would
yes,
love to.
you know
Just
what I
let me
mean?
know.
So I'll let you know. Kimberly will let you know. And,
Let me know and I'll come up and
And
join
it's
you.
going to be, they are actually putting in a dance floor for me too this time too.
Ooh,
They
with a
said
little
that,
rumba then,
so
a
you'll
little-
be able to dance and appreciate it. I also just released a video.
Oh, great.
It's called
Awesome.
Believe in Magic. It's on YouTube right now. It's not there to make any money because it was done because I wanted to do an appreciation video for a guy who also passed away, the head of Earth, Wind, and Fire, Mr. Maurice White.
Oh,
and it's called Believe in Magic. And I hope you enjoy the video.
I'm sure everybody out there will enjoy it. Don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe. I'm asking all of you, and whoever is on the show, don't forget to get all your friends to go over to YouTube and subscribe Vegas Live with Ninon, because the more we have,
Yes.
the merrier it becomes, and the more we can help. This show, Vegas Live with Ninon, is to help the entertainers so that we can get you out there. So that people, like, Ron Knight comes on. Now we know he's going to be performing. We can go and see him. We have these choices that now everything's coming
Right.
back again. So,
And by the way, one of your favorites before
What?
we end, Kimberly is going to do the Music and Fashion Expo and the Lady Vegas pageant and the Miss Las Vegas Classic Beauty pageant in September.
Oh, fabulous! So
So
we'll
for
start
all of-
advertising that and getting
Yes.
all that out there
So
and
she'll be
everything
out there.
else. And Kimberly's
And
an
we
amazing woman.
we'd like you to make sure that you make it to the this time.
I will. I'll definitely make it this time. I don't know, I'll make a promise, but I'll make it as close to a promise as possible.
There you go.
Okay, there I go. Thank you, Ron.
No worries.
We'll be
Thank you
right
so
back.
much.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
be
you,
right
guys.
back with our next guest. Take care. Okay. Okay. Yes. Oh, I know. Oh, my producer's saying to me, Ninon, you can't cut out just yet.
Oh, right.
Because we have to mention this. This is a Quirky Minds Media All Aspects Radio Network fundraiser, and it's at Stoney's, Stoney's Rocket Country, and that's at Town Square, Las Vegas Boulevard.
That's the Carpenters, right?
Yeah, the
The Carpenters.
Carpenters, the tribute concert to the Carpenters. This is absolutely amazing, and it's tomorrow, actually, which is Cinco de Mayo
Yeah,
Day.
I know those two.
You do?
Yes,
Yeah, they're
I know
amazing.
those two, yeah.
It's May 5th from 5 till 10 o'clock, and don't forget to go there, Stoners. Okay?
That's
We'll
a
be
nice
there.
little venue too. There, I sang
And
there.
it's fabulous there. And I will be on. I'll be on the red carpet interviewing all the celebrities and also the people that are not celebrities. You all get
Oh, far
interviewed,
out.
so you're all going to have a little choice there. So
Is that tomorrow?
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's
that's tomorrow.
tomorrow. That's tomorrow from 5 till 10. So don't forget to pop up there and check out our entertainers. Give them the support they need. They've been in they haven't been able to get out there for about a year and a half now. So
There's old Rod Stewart. He's always around there.
yeah, Rod Stewart. They're all those girls from this. This is Michelle Jones is going to be
Yeah,
there.
right.
She plays the violin. All of them are going to be there. So it's going to be absolutely wonderful. I'll see you there tomorrow.
Oh, Barbara
Take
too?
care.
Barbara's gonna be there?
Oh, Barbara Brighton's going to be there.
Maybe
you
we
see?
stop up there to check Barbara.
Yeah, you
out.
got to check Barbara.
Yeah, I
out,
gotta
you
check
know,
Barbara.
See what's
Barbara's
going on.
oh, cool.
So don't forget to. I'll see you there. And if you're not there, I'll be awfully upset.
Thank you so much, Nina.
We'll be right back with our next guest. Take care. If you enjoyed the last show we just did and all the other shows, don't forget to subscribe Vegas Live with Ninon on YouTube. We've got plenty more coming up and our guests are amazing. So don't forget to subscribe. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.